President Donald Trump has again found himself at the center of another embarrassing moment, this time not at a rally or on social media, but on one of America's most prestigious stages. At the Kennedy Center, where comedian and television host Bill Maher was honored with the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor on Sunday, Trump became the punchline, despite not even being in the room. One of the night's loudest moments came when Whitney Cummings took the stage. Without wasting any time, she launched straight into a joke referencing Trump's long-scrutinized ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. According to Deadline, Cummings told the audience, quote, "I actually heard Trump may come tonight, but he couldn't make it, but he got caught in sex traffic." The room erupted in laughter. Trump has repeatedly denied any involvement in Epstein's crimes and insists he knew nothing about the abuse network. However, critics continue pointing to his nearly 20-year friendship with Epstein before the pair reportedly fell out in the mid-2000s. And Cummings wasn't finished. She also mocked Bill Maher's controversial White House dinner with Trump, Kid Rock, and UFC CEO Dana White. She joked, quote, "Seeing Dana White, Donald Trump, and Kid Rock all together at the White House really proves there is no God." The audience once again burst into laughter. The president wasn't there to respond, but his name dominated much of the conversation anyway. Adding another layer of irony, the ceremony itself was the first major Kennedy Center event since a federal judge ruled that Trump's attempt to rename the venue after himself was unlawful. Earlier this year, U.S. District Judge Christopher Cooper struck down Trump's effort to rename it the Donald Trump and John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, ruling that only Congress has the authorization to change the institution's name. Even on Sunday night, workers were still covering the area where Trump's name had briefly appeared on the building. So what was meant to be a celebration of comedy ended up becoming another uncomfortable night for the president, with Epstein jokes, White House punchlines, and a legal defeat all hanging over the evening. But the Epstein controversy isn't fading anytime soon. In fact, it has only intensified after fresh attention surrounding Bill Gates' testimony and the wider fallout from the case. Here's what happened.
What if one of the world's richest men believed Jeffrey Epstein was trying to gain leverage over him using details of his private life? That's the explosive allegation emerging from newly released congressional testimony involving Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates. In sworn remarks made before the House Oversight Committee, Gates identified 2 Russian women with whom he admitted having affairs and described communications from Jeffrey Epstein that he said appeared to contemplate blackmail. The revelations are now reigniting scrutiny over Gates's past interactions with the disgraced financier and raising fresh questions about how Epstein allegedly sought influence over powerful figures. Let's break down what the testimony actually says. According to the transcript released by congressional investigators, Gates was questioned on June 10 about an alleged attempt by Epstein to use information about Gates's personal relationships as leverage. During the interview, Gates identified the 2 women as competitive bridge player Mila Antonova and nuclear scientist Karima Nigmatalina. He acknowledged that Epstein had correctly learned about those relationships and later referenced them in communications that Gates characterized as potentially coercive. Central to the discussion was a draft email dated July 18, 2013, reportedly written by Epstein on behalf of former Gates science advisor Boris Nikolic. The draft contained a mix of allegations involving Gates's personal conduct and references to helping facilitate meetings with Russian women. According to Gates, the document looked like an effort to pressure or gain negotiating leverage. In his testimony, Gates stopped short of saying he had actually been blackmailed. Instead, he carefully described it as something that raised the possibility Epstein had contemplated doing so. As Gates explained to lawmakers, the email appeared to combine factual information with disputed claims in a manner that looked almost like blackmail. He further testified that Epstein later sought reimbursement for expenses involving one of the women, which Gates interpreted as either another attempt at leverage or an effort to re-establish contact. Importantly, Gates maintained that Epstein never successfully blackmailed him. However, he said the available evidence suggested there was a serious possibility that Epstein intended to use such tactics. The testimony also revisits Gates's controversial association with Epstein. Despite Epstein's criminal history, Gates met with him on multiple occasions between 2011 and 2014. Gates has repeatedly stated that those interactions were connected to discussions about philanthropy and global health initiatives. He has also publicly acknowledged that meeting with Epstein was a mistake and expressed regret over the relationship. The congressional transcript comes after Gates informed employees at the Gates Foundation earlier this year that he had engaged in 2 extramarital affairs. His personal life has remained under public scrutiny ever since his divorce from Melinda French Gates. Reports from the divorce proceedings have also suggested Gates acknowledged allegations involving numerous other affairs during their marriage. Those claims have continued to attract attention, although many details remain based on reporting rather than court findings. The Oversight Committee simultaneously released testimony from Leslie Groff, Epstein's longtime executive assistant. Groff testified that she arranged massages for Epstein on a frequent basis, but insisted she had no knowledge that any involved underage victims or criminal conduct. She described Epstein as someone who carefully separated his public image from his secret life. Reflecting on her years working for him, Groff told lawmakers she eventually came to believe he was a monster and characterized him as a master manipulator who deceived those around him. She also addressed why she continued working for Epstein following his 2008 conviction involving solicitation of a minor. According to her testimony, Epstein insisted to staff that the allegations against him were false and that he had been unfairly targeted. Groff said she accepted those explanations at the time, but later concluded they were misleading. Another notable portion of her testimony involved U.S. President Donald Trump. Groff stated that she occasionally arranged phone calls between Epstein and Trump, roughly once every few months, but she testified that she never coordinated massages, flights aboard Epstein's aircraft, or other services for Trump. She added that the communications eventually stopped, although she said she did not know why. The broader release of these transcripts reflects ongoing congressional efforts to examine Epstein's network of associates and determine how he cultivated relationships with influential figures across politics, business, and philanthropy. For Bill Gates, the disclosures have once again placed his past interactions with Epstein under the microscope. While Gates insists Epstein never successfully extorted him, his testimony suggests he believed the disgraced financier may have explored using sensitive personal information as leverage. The documents also provide one of the clearest public accounts yet of how Gates himself interpreted Epstein's actions and why he now views those interactions with deep regret. As investigators continue examining Epstein's extensive network and historical contacts, the newly released testimony adds another chapter to a story that continues to generate worldwide attention years after Epstein's death.